mashed potatoes, stuffing, yams, the rolls, corn
Games.
casserole. No, those aren't my favorite side dish. My favorite Thanksgiving side dish is the motherfucking 10-8 round podcast. That's what we're eating here in filthy Philadelphia. I, as always, am Zach, as always, joined by the thankful, the gratuitous John Boy down there in sunny Fort Lauderdale, Florida. John Boy, are you a holidays guy?
I am, dude. I am a holidays guy because there's nothing wrong with drinking, eating, and watching some football, Zach.
Listen, that to me is the quintessential American holiday. I got to get loaded with food, and pass out in front of a football game. That's the perfect holiday right there.
Yeah, I mean that's the ultimate trifecta as far
In
as I'm
fact,
concerned.
I'm going to start prepping myself now with a little Kill Cliff CBD. Get
Oh
myself
wow,
in the holiday spirit.
you should be very calm and relaxed tomorrow for your Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we're on our way. We're well on our way. I'm gonna I'm gonna put a bird on the smoker. I don't know if you know this about me.
Huh?
I am a fantastic baker.
Really?
So I make pie from scratch. I was busy this morning making the dough in the kitchen.
What's the go-to pie?
You don't want to see my pecan pie. You don't
Uh,
want to see
I'm thankful that it was pecan because I was
it.
really hoping it was pecan.
It's pecan and it's good. It's real good.
Really? I can see that. I could see you being a baker, honestly.
Yeah, listen, you know what? Whether I'm in the kitchen or whether I'm rocking the 10-8 round, I'm about my dough. You know what I'm saying? That's how I do it.
Damn.
Should we get into our three takeaways from the weekend before we get down to our holiday business?
Yeah, so we got a little, festive Thanksgiving themed pod. We're gonna do our three takeaways, and then me and Zach are gonna get into what we're thankful for this holiday.
What we're thankful for this year. Well, let's I think our first takeaway is going to be a mirror. So do you want to start us off?
No, I don't. You can start it off.
Fair enough. My first takeaway from last weekend is that Jack Della Maddalena is the real motherfucking deal.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean the guy's got a ton of hype, and it was one of those things where it's like we haven't seen a lot of him to kind of determine if the hype was deserved or not. I told you I'm going to start referring to him as JDM from now on because that fucking name's a train wreck for me. Yeah, no, man, he looked really good. He made quick work of a legit opponent in what's his name, Rocky,
I
right?
believe his name is Danny Roberts.
Danny Roberts. Another London-esque fighter, decent guy, decent track record, good resume, good win for JDM.
Yeah, JDM dispatched him with ease.
Quick work, first round finish. He's got three
Yeah.
fights in the UFC, all first round finishes. JDM, man, look for him down
Yeah.
the road. I think we're going to see a lot more of him.
Yeah, I think the welterweight division is officially on notice for JDM. That boy is real. Who do you want to see him fight next? What do you think is his next step up?
Is it too much too fast if I say Leach?
I don't know if it's too much too fast. I mean, I feel like anybody who fights the Leech is signing their own death warrant, but why not JDM?
Yeah, maybe like a Muslim Salikov who also had a knockout victory on this card. Somebody
I
like
was gonna
that.
say, I think Muslim might be the right one. And since we're on that, let's get into my second takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
I think Muslim Sakalov's knockout win over the weekend only further confirms the Leech's dominance.
Yeah, no, I mean it definitely looks good when you have an opponent on your resume that comes off in emphatic fashion. Yeah, he looked motivated. I heard him a lot in like the press conferences saying he's coming off of a bad loss, and nothing motivates you more than getting knocked out in your last fight. He looked good, man. He looked motivated. The King of Kung Fu is definitely back. That'd be
Yeah,
a good matchup.
that
JDM
would be.
and Muslim. I like that.
Yeah, and Andre Fieldau is no slouch, right? Like that's a real fight right there.
No, he's no slouch. But one thing I will say that you saw in this fight was you can tell that the damage accumulation is starting to add up for him because he's been in a lot of wars in his
Yeah.
short. He's only been in the UFC for I think 3 or 4 fights, and all of them were pretty much wars. And you can kind of start to see that with the chin starting to fade a little bit, because when Muslim was hitting him, he was shutting the lights off every now and then. So something to keep an eye on with Fiallo down the road.
Yeah, he was a Bellator guy, and then a PFL guy, then an LFA guy, and then he
You,
kind of
you know
got the
where you
thing.
know where I saw Fiallo fight first? First time I ever
Where?
saw him fight?
Where's that?
After James Vick got cut by the UFC. He was one of the guys who knocked out James Vick. I don't know. I want to say it was one of those Cage Warriors, one of those promotions. But yeah, he KO'd James Vick. I didn't know kind of what to take away from it, but
Well, I'm pretty sure James Vick is now fighting in the Karate Combat League.
he is.
Which have you ever watched the Karate Combat League?
I've seen like little short gifs and clips on Twitter, and dude, it looks pretty sweet.
It looks kind of cool. I've just never like there's only so many hours in a day that I can fill with combat sports, and it's
That's
just
fair.
it's one of those ones I have not found the necessary hardware for it yet, but it looks cool. Looks interesting. What's your second takeaway on the week?
My second takeaway is I think I'm gonna win the Ricky Tercio bet that we have. I don't think Ricky Tercio, even coming off of a win, I got enough from that performance where I can pretty confidently say I don't think he's going to crack inside the top 15. You can tell me if I'm wrong.
But he did win, didn't he?
He did win. He was dropped by a guy who's going to definitely be cut by the UFC after this one, who hasn't won a single fight in the UFC, and it was a very closely contested bout.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not great. I did love his. Did you catch his post-fight interview?
Yeah, I did.
I liked that.
Very positive figure.
Yeah.
Very a lot of love, a lot of light, a lot of love. Weird dude though. Very weird guy.
Yeah, but you can tell he's kind of coming from a good place, you know?
Yeah.
I understand why you like him, but it's not enough for me to back his fighting prowess, I guess.
No, we are holding on. We got one foot on the grave and one foot on a banana peel for this fucking bet. This bet
Bags.
is holding on by the fucking hair on its ass. It is fucking woo getting tight.
Yeah.
It's getting tight in there. Whew.
What's your next one?
My next takeaway is we are never ever going to be done with Chase Sherman, I don't think. I think we're just gonna fucking live on a constant loop of watching this man get punched in the face.
Yeah. Before we got on, I was telling you there was a part of me that kind of just hoped he got knocked out, so that the UFC could just like move on and not have him accumulate any more damage. I get you need a paycheck at the end of the day, but man, did Chase Sherman take a fucking beating, dude. He wasn't even countering shots. It was a bunch of unresponsive, significant strikes that added up. Not a great look, but it's a tough one. It's a tough to see. You never want to see the vanilla gorilla go down like that.
No, but I think, because this guy will stand and take that beating for 3 rounds, I think he'll always be that guy that gets a last minute call from the UFC when they need somebody to fill in at heavyweight and dance around for 3 rounds. I think he's always going to get that call. I think we're never going to be done with him. And
Sam
I think
Al Sam Alvey essentially.
yeah, I think he's the heavyweight smiling Sam. He'll just go in there and every like 5 fights, he'll win like an interesting decision. You'd be like, he's back. And then you'd be like, no, he's not.
4 losses in a row, 1 win. 4 losses in a row, 1 win.
Yeah,
I could see it.
Look, I wish he dropped down a light heavyweight. Maybe he could put together, a couple of wins down there, or maybe he could find the secret formula. But this ain't it. But I don't think we're done with him by a long shot.
I kind of hope we are, but I kind of hope we're not. It's one of those things, right? 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door with Chase. I don't know how I feel about it. They'll probably give him one more. Realistically, they got to give him at least one more.
Probably.
Then he can win that, and then they can re-sign him, and he can go on to lose 4 more. But
yeah, either that or he'll go on to be the fucking champion in Bellator. One or the other.
True. That's always an option. There's always a plan B. Literally, plan Bellator.
Plan Bellator. What's your last takeaway for the week?
I don't know how much of a takeaway it is. It's more of a question mark. It's more of a question that I feel like it needs to still be answered. And the jury is still out on Kennedy Nzechukwu. I can't decide if he's the real deal or not. It was a really impressive win against Ion Kutabala, who has fought the best of the best, but like you pointed out in the last pod, lost the majority of those fights anyway. He's coming off of 2 wins. His last fight before this was Carl Roberson, and then he has 2 losses before that. He does have a win over Carlos Olberg, the city kickboxing training partner of Israel Adesanya, which is a good win because he's been on fire as of late. So I'd like to see Kennedy Nzechukwu get another guy kind of in like that top 15, top 10 range to see if he's the real deal. Because he's raw, man. He's a raw talent, and I feel like he's come leaps and bounds since we've first seen him fight in the UFC. So it'll be interesting to kind of... There's a flyer out on Kennedy. That's what I'll say. He raised an eyebrow. You've got my attention.
Let me say this. I think that fight said more about Ion Cutelaba than maybe it did about Kennedy. You know, we talk about these guys who they rack up losses only to legit guys, and eventually those losses just turn into losses to the middle of the pack, and then eventually you realize it's kind of done. I'm going to say 4 losses in a row. I'm going to keep for the second week in a row. I'm going to do a "You're dead to me." Ion Cutelaba, you're dead to me.
Damn.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but you know that's just the way it is. And you're right. Listen, Kennedy, I think, has come leaps and bounds. I don't think he's ever going to be the talent that goes far at 205. I think it's a heavy division, and I don't know that he's got that in him. But yeah, I think Cutelaba at this point is dead to me. Who's your dead to me this week?
And it's funny because yours is kind of counterintuitive, one of your takeaways, and it's Chase Sherman. Chase Sherman's dead to me. I've seen enough. I know where the ceiling is, and that's about it. I don't need to see Chase Sherman again in the UFC, man. I saw enough this past weekend. Chase Sherman, you are officially dead to me.
I don't like it. I don't like it, but I have to respect it.
Yeah.
There's just, yeah, I gotta respect it. I keep hoping against hope that the Vanilla Gorilla is going to turn the corner, that he's going to have some breakout performance, and he's going to go on a run, and it just keeps not happening. So
yeah, there's like, I don't know what it is, like some moral factor where I'm just like, throw in the towel. Like, you don't need to sustain any more damage. He was doing the fucking stanky leg multiple times. It was a tough look, man. It was a tough look. And loved him when he was in the game, but every story comes to an end, and unfortunately the famed story of the Vanilla Gorilla is coming to an end.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. What are you going to do? Well, I believe, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, we may not have a UFC this weekend, but we do have some fights this weekend, don't we?
We do.
I believe we got some Black Friday fights going down. I believe we got a little PFL, the season championships.
Yep.
Are you stoked?
No.
Are you stoked to watch Kayla Harrison steamroll another grown adult?
I saw their face off in like the Empire State Building or whatever. Where are they even fighting? Maybe it wasn't the Empire State Building, but
it was MSG.
They are fighting in MSG. Oh yeah, they do that every year. They sometimes do it for New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
We've been there, done that with Kayla, right? It's like, you didn't sign to Bellator, you didn't sign to UFC, you don't really want the smoke. So as far as I'm concerned, I could really care less about a Kayla Harrison fight, if we're being quite blunt.
You don't think Larissa Pacheco is going to be the one to dethrone Kayla Harrison?
I do not.
I don't either.
What are the odds? Probably like minus 3,000 or something.
I don't know why you would ever think to ask me odds. I don't know why you ever thought that was the thing you could do. I have no fucking idea.
We both know it's like minus 2,000. We don't even have to ask the question. It's the same thing. We know the story. It's a tale as old as time with her. That's why she doesn't sell well. So
yeah, she is. I'm looking at like the promo picture. Kayla Harrison is just fucking yoked. She is gigantic. She is
Oh yeah.
terrible.
Oh, she's a absolute beast.
Oof. God damn. That girl's all muscle.
Yeah, she'd fuck me up, dude.
Yeah. I
Big
mean,
time.
and you probably have to tip her for it.
Say
What
less.
there's some interesting heat on this PFL card though. Number one, Aspen Ladd has washed up in the sewers of PFL, having been cut by the UFC 2 weeks ago. She's already got a fight on PFL. She's
Mhm.
on the main card taking on Julia Budd.
That I actually like that matchup. Julia Budd, a former Bellator world
Yeah,
champion. She was dethroned by Cyborg after the UFC cut Cyborg. Um, that should be a decent fight. Should be a
I
good
am.
fight. That's not a bad. It's not a bad little scrap PFL put together.
No, it's really not. It's really not. It should be interesting. I'm rooting for Julia Budd with every fiber of my being, obviously. Um, because it's always team fuck Aspen Ladd on this podcast.
That's fair.
You know, we got Stephen Ray taking on Olivier Albon Mercier, who's a favorite of mine. And this will be a good one. Stephen Ray's record is 25-10. It's not a stellar record, but his last two victories are back-to-back wins over Anthony Showtime Pettis. Pretty
Yes.
Tony. So that's not nobody. Olivier Albon Mercier was a UFC guy for a while. And was a decent UFC guy. Put together some wins, took some losses, took 3 losses in a row, which I think is what got him cut, including the last one to Armin Sarukian, lost a decision. But he was fighting on the card where you and I met in Brooklyn back in 2018.
Wow.
Yeah, he knocked
Yeah,
out Ed Dunham.
he had some promise. He did. He
It,
was one of those guys who was kind of I don't want to say under the radar, but a Canadian guy, kind of same
yeah,
style as like GSP, a grappler, grueling grinder type guy.
yeah. Well, he lost. I mean, he lost to three pretty legit guys in a row: Alex Hernandez, Gilbert Burns, and Armin Sarukian. All of
Oof.
them by decision. Right? That's a fucking murderer's row of who's who.
Yeah.
And then he kind of washes up in PFL. Hasn't lost since washing up there. Yeah, I've always liked Olivier Albon Mercier. I've been watching him a little bit in this PFL season. I'm pulling for him. I hope he gets the win over Stephen Ray. Um, he has a fantastic walkout song, which will take you far with me. He walks out to Bomb Bomb by Sister Nancy, a very cool track. So that gets you a lot of bonus points with me. So I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure why this podcast knows so much about um, Mercier, because I know a little fun fact about him on Twitter, which I thought was pretty cool, is he reaches out to handicap UFC bettors for like insight, strategy, and game plan going into UFC fights. And he kind of approaches it from like an odds maker perspective of how he's lined in Vegas and kind of why. And he basically takes it from that perspective rather than like an MMA game plan, kind of where the money is at and why, which I thought was interesting. And he was also one of the first fighters. Listen to this, Zach. You're going to like this. Who wears a QR code on their shirt after a fight for their interview. So you can scan the QR code with your phone and tip them after the fight is over if you won money betting on them.
Wow. That's insane.
Little
That was
mind.
that was two insane pieces of information just back to back that I did not know anything about.
Yeah. So I thought that was a really good idea, right? It's a win-win. Fighter's happy, feel good about it, and then the fighter gets paid for it. Why not, right? No harm, no foul.
That is insane. Well, it sounds like what we're saying here is that the Canadian gangster is a 10-8 legit guy.
Yeah, he might
That's
be our PFL guy. He might be
yeah,
our PFL guy.
we need a PFL guy. We're in the market.
True.
Why not the Canadian gangster? Slap that legit guy tag on him. Go Aubin Mercier. We're rooting for you, bud.
Let's get it, baby.
Let's get it. We got Jeremy Stevens on this card taking on Nathan Schulte. It's always an interesting one when Jeremy Lil Heathen Stevens fights. I hate that nickname. I really do.
Yeah, you've hated that. That really got under your skin. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, it's just never sat right with me. I don't like it. I think it's just stupid.
Really?
Lil Heathen? Lil Heathen? You gonna tell me that's a good nickname?
It's never really stuck out to me like that, where I would have to, get fired up about it. I don't know.
I hate it so
I
much.
feel like there's way worse.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, there's Fear the Maverick. Don't get me
True.
started. I can't do this for another week.
Oh, here we
I,
go.
I won't do it. I won't do it for another week. We also have Marlon Moraes, who's washed up from the UFC. He's taken on after 3 losses in the UFC, brings his talents to the PFL, taking on Shaman Moraes. So battle for the Moraes supremacy there.
Marlon Moraes was also supposed to fight Shane Burgos. Shane Burgos pulled out of the fight. That would have been kind of a banger.
That would have been a banger.
Hot take. Marlon Moraes is going to be a PFL star.
Really waters down the product of PFL, but you're probably not wrong.
I think he's got loads of potential. The chin is the only thing that's questionable. The chin and the cardio, but I think he could get it done. Not too long ago, this guy knocked Aljamain Sterling, the current UFC champion, unconscious inside 1 round.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of the ceiling with that type of guy. So, but Shaman Moraes is no joke either. Another UFC alum who he's fighting. That's a good fight. PFL put together a good little card.
A battle for the Moraises. Here's an interesting piece of information for you. Gleason Tebow is still fighting.
Yes, I did know that.
That's upsetting. That feels wrong.
Gleason was the one who had the tight decision with Habib, right? Back in the day, pre-USADA, one of Habib, pre-USADA, went pre-Reebok deal.
Yeah. Back in 2012.
Gleason Tibau, when he was juiced to the gills, gave Habib like the closest fight of his entire MMA career. It was like razor close. Like some people said Gleason won. It was one of those. But wow, he's still going, man.
Still going. Do you know when Gleason Tebow made his MMA debut?
Almost 20 years ago. 24 years ago.
1999.
Wow.
Christmas Eve, 1999. He fought a guy named Ricardo.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Props to Gleason. How old is he? Like 43?
39.
It's only 39? Okay.
39. Yeah. His
oldest looking 39-year-old I've ever seen in my life, possibly.
His record goes so far back that on his ShareDog profile, one of his wins is over unknown fighter. Yeah. He made his UFC debut in 2006, taking a TKO loss to Nick Diaz.
Damn. Come a long way. Now he's fighting for the PFL championship, to give you an idea of how good the PFL roster is currently.
His record is 37-16. That's insane.
They gave him a shit split decision against Rory as well, and was one of the reasons he moved on.
Yeah.
But Rory, talk about another PFL guy who just absolutely everybody that goes to PFL dies. Pettis, Rory. It's
Head on the vine.
Yeah, it's not good. Bellator, at least the UFC fighters do well. PFL, not so much.
Yeah, not a friendly place. Not a friendly place. Well, I don't have too much else to talk about the PFL card unless you do.
I do not.
Yeah, no. It looks like it's a decent card. Day after Thanksgiving, coming out of the turkey coma. Maybe you grab yourself a little leftover pie. pop open one of those cold holiday edition soda pops that you got there in the fridge.
Okay.
You know, you lay out on the couch. You catch a little PFL. You ain't working too hard, I hope, and that's it. You enjoy the day, and you call it a day. You move on.
Yeah, you watch some people punch each other in the face, and
That's
there it
it.
is.
A little sanctioned violence in your holiday. I mean, we here in Philadelphia, we watch Rocky every Thanksgiving. So that's just how we do things. So it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. Are you sufficiently prepared? Are you ready for our holiday edition,
The
Thanksgiving edition, 10-8 round?
Yeah, the better question is, am I feeling thankful? Maybe.
Are you?
I guess we're about to find out.
I guess we're gonna find out. I guess I'm gonna find out when the fans do whether or not John Boy's thankful for shit this year. Well, we here decided to take a little bit of time to let you all know what we're thankful for this year in and around the world of combat sports. Uh, it's going to be an adventure in finding out preparation and how prepared we are for this. John Boy, would you like me to start us off?
Please do.
All right. First thing I'm thankful for this year, I am thankful that I am not Dylan Dennis.
That's respectable.
Yeah. You see, he got punched in the face after doing the square off with KSI. Another fighter punched him in the face.
Yeah, and he got punched in the face too. Like people get punched in the face, but he got clocked. He actually like ran into a car behind him as like a backstop. Yeah, he got smoked. I think KSI smokes him too.
I hope so.
I think he absolutely smokes him.
So done with this shit. I mean, he's not a boxer, right? He's a fucking jujitsu guy. So
yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's not so much an endorsement of KSI. It's more of a bet against Dylan Dennis being exactly who we think he is.
Yeah. I think he's gonna get fucking starched, and I think that will be the end of Dylan Dennis. But I am thankful to not be Dylan Dennis this year.
I like that.
All right, what do you got? Hit me with it. Give me something you're thankful for.
I am thankful for all of the fighters who won me money in the year 2022.
There you go.
Little selfish, but at the end of the day, thank you guys for bettering me.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, in that vein, I am gonna say I am thankful for Jiangling Li, aka the Leech, aka Mr. Leech, who won the only fight that mattered this year, the fight that added legitimacy to the infantile 10-8 pod. So I am thankful for Mr. Leech this year.
I like that, man. I like that the Leech is our ride or die guy.
Yeah.
Like, I think we really picked it right with that one.
Yeah. I think he's a true gentleman ambassador of the sport. He kind of reminds me of and I don't know about maybe like talent levels, but just like aura in a way. He kind of reminds me of like a Chinese GSP. Like, he shows up dressed to the nines. He's a gentleman to everybody. Tons of sportsmanship. He's going to go in there and put it all on the line. A lot of talent in the cage. Like, you never feel bad like when the Leech is on your screen,
No, 100%. You just light up. That's what it is.
Yeah. I just get excited. I'm like, oh, look, it's the Leech. The Leech is on my screen. I'm excited for this. Let's see what he's got to say. I love this dude. It's like GSP.
Thankful for number two. My number two, this is simple, but Zach, we know the best things in life are simple. I'm thankful for the UFC so that we don't have to sit up here and talk about Gleison Tibau fighting on Thanksgiving Eve. I'm thankful for a promotion who can run their shit, and we're not up here talking about Bellator, which we are, and karate combat or whatever the hell it is. I'm thankful for the UFC, Zach.
You're already thankful for the UFC. We're gonna run out of shit so fucking fast.
I am running on E and grasping for straws. I'm thankful for. I think I might have to pivot and talk about things I'm not thankful for this Thanksgiving.
Oh boy, we're already at thankful for the UFC. I'm thankful Mackenzie Dern doesn't have my wife's cell phone number. think we referenced last week that my wife has a signed photo of Mackenzie Dern where Mackenzie put both a heart and a smiley face. Mackenzie's on the prowl. And I'm thankful that I don't have to worry about whether or not I could defend my relationship against Mackenzie Dern. So
Yeah, it's probably for the better.
I think the answer is no. I think I'd lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd lose. Do you want me to put another one in here to like spread yours out a little bit? You want me to
I would
think
love
again?
that.
Yeah, I got another one. I am thankful that I haven't paid for a single Paul Brothers fight this year.
That can be a joint one because I've
Yeah,
never paid for a Paul brother fight in my entire life.
I have
Um,
never found it necessary to part with my hard-earned money to see what the Paul Brothers are up to on a Saturday night, and I'm thankful.
one thing I will say,
What?
I might pay to see him fight if he fights Andrew Tate. And that brings me to somebody who I'm thankful for. I'm kidding. But yeah, no, that's the one fight I would pay for. If Jake Paul fought Andrew Tate, I would pay my hard-earned money for that one.
You're going to pay to watch him fight Top G, huh?
Yeah. That's
I don't
just
know.
that's circus of all circuses as far as I'm concerned.
I don't know that I could sleep at night knowing that Top G and Jake Paul both have like my money in their pocket. I don't know that I could sleep with that knowledge.
That's fair.
Especially not now that Top G is currently simping on Twitter for Elon Musk. Like I couldn't do it. Couldn't
Yeah.
do it.
All right. Well, since I started off with UFC, I'll really start grasping for straws here.
Oh boy.
But you know what I'm thankful for, Zach? I'm
Tell me.
thankful that I'm going to be in UFC Orlando. Not this weekend, but the following. I'll tell you what I'm not thankful for, that you will not be in attendance with me.
I will not be there. I am unfortunately unavailable. And I hate it. I really do. I hate it. But I'm thankful that you're going to be there. I'm thankful that you're going to be representing the 10-8's interests. I know that at every UFC card, they're looking for the 10-8, membership. They're looking for 10-8 leadership. So I'm glad that you'll be there. And I think I can speak for the UFC when I say they're thankful you'll be there.
Yeah, man. You sleep with this cozy feeling knowing that the 10-8 round will have boots on the ground at UFC.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm thankful that Ricky Tercios is going to let me keep my money a little bit longer. It looks like I will make it through the calendar year without losing this bet.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he did buy you a little bit of time.
He did. He bought me time. He bought me the gift of time. I will hold on to that crisp C note for just a little while longer.
Okay.
Maybe not forever. Maybe not forever. But for this Christmas, I can buy my family presents thanks to Ricky Tercios.
All right. Well, Zach, I'm thankful for the fact that we're going to see John Bones Jones fight again in 2023.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I am thankful for that as well.
Yeah, it's time.
It is.
It's time for the GOAT to come back. We just got the news that Stipe Miocic was the opponent who the UFC originally had lined up. He was hurt, I believe, in camp or some personal matter. So now it will either be Francis Ngannou pending injury and or Curtis Blades are the two opponents in mind. It's time to see JBJ back in action, man. I'm thankful for that.
I agree. I think if he's gonna get back in action, it's time, right? Like, I don't want to see him on the shelf, past his prime. I don't want to see him expire before we get him back in the cage. So I'm glad that he'll be back, especially considering, it looks like the 205 is going to be a little bit of a mess for a while here. So I'm grateful that JBJ will be up at heavyweight. Maybe we can focus our attentions there because Yuri Prohaska. Did you hear that apparently Dana White said that doctors have never seen a worse shoulder injury than they saw in Yuri?
Oh, no, I didn't realize it was that serious.
Yeah, like he vacated the belt.
Damn.
So 205 is going to get a little sloppy for a little while, but JBJ is going up to heavyweight. There's a lot of fun matchups up there for him. Francis is a fun one. Curtis Blades is a fun one. When Stipe gets healthy, that's a fun one.
I think Gon's the most intriguing matchup, but
Gone is a fun. I was just gonna say Gone is a fun one. There's a lot of fun places for heavyweight right now. A lot of fun fights in general to make it heavyweight. So I'm looking forward to what 2023 holds for the UFC heavyweight division. Maybe a return to its former glory. I'm excited for that. I am additionally thankful for that. Um, John Boy, I'm thankful for all the words that you mispronounced on this show because it's provided me with hours of entertainment. I'm
thank
thankful
you.
for that.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm glad that you got a lot from that.
I did. Yaye Rodriguez might be my favorite.
His name is for now on Yaye Rodriguez.
I agree. It is Yaye Rodriguez because at this point we've done this for so long now. You've been calling Charles Oliveira for the entire year. I've
Charlie
got
Olives, come on.
it's Chucky Olives, right? It's forced us to pivot. Your mispronunciation of fighters' names has forced us at times to pivot to more creative avenues and has forced us to be better podcast hosts. So I'm thankful for it.
Wow, that's very constructive of you.
That's how I feel about it. You've got
Okay.
to be out of shit you're thankful for. I just know that you're out of shit.
No, absolutely not. I mean, the more that you're telling me how thankful you are, and all of these things just come to mind. You know what I
Are you
mean?
catching the season?
Hmm?
Are you catching the season over there? I love it.
Oh yeah, the festive spirit is running through my veins right now. And Zach, you know what I'm thankful for?
What's that?
That I have never laid a single dollar on Carla Esparza.
Yeah, it's a fair one. It's a fair one. I kind of had a feeling that thing was coming.
Yeah, Carla Esparza was not the best of your reads, Zach. But if I'm correct, I think I am up on 10-8 round bets. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think you're up 2-1 on 10-8 round bets.
Okay.
Maybe I'll try to slide another one in before the end of the year. Maybe a Christmas episode bet just so I can even it up before the
Spice
end.
up Orlando for me a little bit.
Yeah, why not? Right? Like I'll find one on Orlando. I'll spice this up a little bit. You know, I'm always down to make a weird bet.
I love it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna say that I am thankful for all of our guests this year. They're all two of them, but both of them just a shout out this year. Mike Wilcox and Timmy Green were the two guests we've had on this year. It's looking at this point like there may not be another guest before the end of the year unless we bring one on for a Christmas episode. But those two guys were exciting. They were engaging. They were interesting. They didn't leave us on red like fucking Alex Caceres did, who's fucking dead to me. They were
Oh, he would have been a good dead to me, first dead to me one.
Yeah, he would have been a good dad to me. Maybe I'll save that, but whatever. I'll go on that rant another day. But either way, thankful for Timmy Green, thankful for Mike Wilcox. Just two great guests on the show. And look out for I think, knock on wood and cross your fingers, might be a Timmy G fight announcement coming sometime soon. So
Oh yeah.
let's keep a good thought for that. Timbo Slice, Timmy G, the King of Roxborough. What else you got, John Boy? What else you thankful for?
I think you knew this one was coming. It's kind of a common theme to all of our podcasts, but I'm thankful for Conor McGregor.
Oh, god damn you.
Um, it's easy to forget about somebody when they're not in the limelight, but I'm thankful for Conor McGregor, man. I just
I hate
am. Is just
I hate every word you're saying right now.
did you see that Artem Lobov is suing him over the Proper 12 whiskey?
Yeah, for like $12 million.
Yeah, when you thought the strongest ties in the world couldn't be broken, you see that, and it's not good. But yeah, Zach, I'm thankful for Conor McGregor, man. I'm thankful for the GOAT himself. And
Well, now I want to rethink my next thankful, but I won't. I will power through because this is the season. I'm thankful for you, John Boy. We started this podcast on a whim back in March. We are now here in November. We've put out over 20 episodes. Some of those episodes have even been listened to people outside of our immediate friend circle. I think this podcast has done more this year than I thought it would. And we're still going strong. I think we're looking forward to 2023 and some big things that we're going to do. What can I say, kid? I'm thankful. This has been fun.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Much love, Zach. I'm thankful for you too, man. We started it doing just something that we enjoy, shooting the shit about MMA. So I don't want to take the words out of your mouth, but I think this is the perfect leeway that we're thankful for our fans. We're
Big time.
thankful for the 10-8 Legion. We're thankful for our circle. We're thankful for our group chat. You guys know who you are. We love you guys. This is why we do it. And your support means the world to us. So thank you guys.
Yeah, that was going to be my last one. We are thankful for our fans. The boy Remy, who's been a day one fan. Big love to you, Remy. Mike from the Bronx and his family, who've been huge supporters. Eli, huge supporter. Mike S from Philly.
Oh.
Jason S and Steph. Can't forget about them. Alyssa S. Jack Sudduth. Um, and many more who have been huge fans and supporters since day one. We are thankful for each and every one of you and the love that you show us on a weekly basis. You guys make this worth doing. You got anything else, John Boy?
That was a pretty good ending there, Zach. I like
It was a
that.
pretty good ending.
Well said.
So I think I only got one more thankful.
What's that?
I'm thankful to let everybody know they should call their mother. Tell her they love her. Because we out. Happy Thanksgiving, motherfuckers.
Peace.